My lord, members of the jury, I represent the plaintiff in this action, Senor Angelos da Costa, the owner of the Borges Ranch in Argentina. And my learned friend, Mr. Parsons, represents the defendant, Colonel Ulrich McKeever of Dalriada Estates, Wigtonshire. Now, the facts of this case are simple. My client, Senor da Costa, purchased an Aberdeen Angus bull, Minos Merrick Mackenzie of Dalriada, at the Fulchester Bull Sales in February 1972. Now, the price paid for this bull was 65,000 guineas. That much is not in dispute. The subsequent events are: my client says that a verbal agreement, there is nothing on paper, existed between himself as the purchaser of this bull and between Colonel McKeever as the vendor, to the effect that the value of this animal would be artificially inflated at the auction so that Minos Merrick Mackenzie would reach a record or near record price. Now, the actual price of the bull, privately agreed between the two parties, was 17,000 guineas. The Breed Society and the auctioneers were paid their commissions, and the balance outstanding between the privately agreed sum and the sale price, a sum of £45,282, was to be returned to my client, Senor da Costa. Now, this Colonel McKeever did not do. In addition, when the bull was returned to the Argentine, it was found to be infertile. Now, my client, Senor da Costa, is suing Colonel McKeever for the return of his 65,000 guineas plus the commission. I shall call as my first witness, my lord, the plaintiff himself, Senor da Costa.
What is your religion?
Catholic.
Raise your right hand and read aloud the words on this card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Senor da Costa, would you prefer to give your evidence in Spanish?
Well, as you wish, my lord, but I was brought up and educated in the States. English is practically my mother tongue.
Very well.
Lord. You are Angelos Jahim da Costa?
I am.
And you're an Argentinian citizen?
Yeah.
And a cattle breeder?
Cattle breeder. Another you could even breed flies with that goddamn bull he sold me.
Senor da Costa, now when did you first hear of Minos?
Minos?
Minos Merrick Mackenzie, my lord, the bull.
Quite so.
Well, just before the auction, I went around the Aberdeen Angus dealers to have a look at what they were putting into the auction.
And you went up to the Dalriada Estates
Correct.
at the same time?
Correct.
Now, what was your opinion of Colonel McKeever's herd?
Mixed.
Could you explain?
Well, it's been a fine herd. Everyone knows that.
But you imply that it's no longer a good herd.
Well, the colonel's had a lot of financial troubles, and I don't think he could afford to buy the right kind of stock bull that was needed. It's a good herd all the same, but I don't know for how much longer.
Bloody Dago.
Eh?
Senor da Costa, what was your opinion of Minos Merrick?
Oh, he looked a fine bull. The colonel had taken a great deal of trouble with him. He was the finest looking bull that I'd ever seen. Yeah, the pedigree was good, too. I felt sure that he would win the Fulchester show.
Did he win?
Oh, sure. He was a winner all the way.
Now, you offered to buy this bull before the show, did you not?
I not only offered, sir, I did buy it.
Damned liar.
Eh?
Colonel McKeever, I would remind you that you must remain silent in this court unless giving evidence.
But, my lord, it isn't easy to remain silent when some South American rapscallion is lying his head off.
You hear that? He called me a liar. Can I sue the son of a bitch?
No, sir, you cannot.
Oh.
And I would remind both of you that I will have no more of this behavior from either of you. Now, do you understand?
Aye.
I'm sorry, my lord.
Very well. Now, Senor da Costa, you said that you bought this bull prior to the auction.
Yeah.
Now, did you sign a bill of sale? How did you fix the price?
Verbally, we shook hands on it.
What price did you and Colonel McKeever agree on?
17,000 guineas. He was asking for 20, but I figured he was in no financial state to hold out for it, so we settled for 17. I was prepared to go to 25.
Yes, you say you agreed this price, and yet you let the bull go to auction.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I don't quite understand.
Well, my lord, I'm a businessman. A thing's worth whatever people think it's worth. And if you have paid more money than anyone else in history for an Aberdeen Angus bull, then that is the most valuable piece of beef in the whole wide world.
And owning such a bull would increase the value of your own herd.
Well,
would it
of
not?
course, and its offspring would have been worth a fortune. The Borghese Ranch would have been famous all over America. If only that goddamn bull hadn't turned out to be a faggot.
Now, when the bull was auctioned, how did you intend to inflate the price?
Well, that was easy. I planted a man in the crowd to bid against me.
It's hardly ethical, I would have thought, Senor da Costa.
With respect, my lord, but what the hell have ethics got to do with cattle breeding? Anyway, it happens all the time.
All the time.
Well, practically all the time. I mean, ask any sheep breeder or ask any art dealer, come to that.
Yes, I remain unconvinced, Senor da Costa.
But where was the harm in it, my lord? I mean, everybody stood to gain. The Breed Society and the auctioneers were getting bigger commissions, and the publicity was good for everyone, including the colonel.
Are you implying that the Breed Society and the auctioneers were a party to this deception?
Oh, no, sir. If they had known about it, they would have put a stop to it.
Yes, well, I'm very glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Senor da Costa, you said that you planted a man in the crowd at the auction.
Yeah.
What was his name, please?
Gus Enderby, he was a cattle dealer that I know.
My lord, Mr. Enderby will be appearing shortly as the witness for the plaintiff. Now, Senor da Costa, what was to happen to the difference between the price that you had agreed to pay, the 17,000 guineas,
Yeah.
and the auction price, which is not disputed, was 65,000 guineas?
Well, he was supposed to give it back to me, but he never did. That son of a bitch is sitting on 45,000 pounds of my
Senor
money.
da Costa.
My lord, I'm sure my client meant no disrespect. He is, after all, unused to English courts.
I'm sorry, my lord. It's just... it won't happen again.
It will not, Senor da Costa.
No, I give him my word. It's just that when I think that I've been screwed out of 45,000 pounds...
Senor da Costa, were there any witnesses to this agreement?
Oh, no, you don't advertise a deal like this.
What about Mr. Enderby?
Oh, he was there in the bar at Fulchester, and I asked him to help me to force up the price.
Now, when was Colonel McKeever to return the balance, the £45,000?
Within a month of the sale.
Wasn't that rather a long time to wait?
Well, we figured it wouldn't look too good if someone found out that the colonel had paid me a large amount of money right after the sale.
Did the Colonel ever pay you this money?
No, sir, he did not.
Did you press him for it?
Sure, I pressed him.
Ha.
Well, cables, letters, phone calls to Scotland.
And what was the Colonel's reply?
He told me that there was no such agreement. He said that I'd been mistaken. He called me a madman, and then he called me a... Well, frankly, I was shocked that a gentleman should use such language.
Could you have been mistaken, Senor da Costa?
What about the language?
No, about the alleged financial agreement.
Oh, no, so one thing Angelos da Costa does not make mistakes about, and that is money.
Yes, well, in my experience, Senor da Costa, verbal agreements can lead to much confusion. Both parties can think that they have reached an understanding when in fact they have not.
Oh, yeah, but not in this case, my lord. I mean, not when over $100,000 is involved. I mean, the agreement was crystal clear. Anyway, he shook hands on it.
How long did you persist in trying to get your money?
How long? Oh, from 1 month after the sale right up to the morning of this very trial. And no one screws Angelos da Costa and gets away with it.
Now, what happened to Minos Merrick after the auction?
Well, the usual thing.
Which is what, Senor da
Well, the
Costa?
boy was sent for a sperm test, and then he was tried
Tried?
on a heifer.
You mean...
Yeah.
Now, what was the result of the sperm test?
Well, it wasn't too good, but then he was only a little more than a yearling, and first sperm tests are not usually very reliable.
And the result of the trial mating?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He couldn't manage it.
What do you mean he couldn't...
He couldn't serve the heifer, that's what I mean.
And did you mention this failure to Colonel McKeever?
Sure, I asked him right out whether his goddamn bull was a eunuch or a faggot.
What was the Colonel's reply?
Well, he said he didn't understand. He should have been okay that he didn't understand.
Did you seek professional advice?
Professional?
I mean, did you consult a vet?
Oh, yeah, sure, but I figure I know just as much about fertility and infertility in bulls than any goddamn vet.
Now, whom did you consult?
Mr. Shipton, he was a vet that the colonel recommended.
My lord, I understand that Mr. Shipton will be appearing later as a witness for the defendant. So, Mr. Shipton examined this bull.
Yeah, we all did.
What was the general opinion?
Well, we couldn't find anything organically wrong with him. As far as I could see, there was no reason why he should not have served a whole herd of cows. Then the colonel suggested that the problem might be psychological.
Psychological?
Yeah.
Are you serious, Senor da Costa? A bull?
My lord, bulls have psychological problems just like you and me.
Senor da Costa, you spoke of psychological problems. Now, what psychological problems can a bull have when it comes to reproduction?
Oh, there are many kinds. Ask any cattle breeder.
Well, would you, for instance, give an example for the jury?
Yeah, well, there are, for instance, shyness.
Shyness.
Yeah, there are shy bulls who cannot serve a heifer or a calf if they see that someone is watching them.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. And then there are good serving bulls.
Serving?
Yeah, good working bulls, servers, stock getters, you know.
I see.
They're only good serving bulls on their home farm. They don't like traveling.
Indeed.
Yeah. And then there are other bulls.
Yes, Senator Costa, I take your point.
Did Minos Merrick Mackenzie suffer from any of these troubles?
No, sir. He was impotent.
My lord, my client disputes that allegation and will be bringing evidence to the contrary.
Quite so, Mr. Parsons.
Senor da Costa, when you took Minos Merrick Mackenzie to the Argentine, did you test him there?
You test him? We tried him on every goddamn thing with 4 legs. We give him every chance. You know, the first time, the first cow that we tried him with, you know, instead of mounting her, he went down on his knees and suckled her.
Suckled her?
Yeah, like a calf.
Now, did he beget any stock at all during the time that he was at your ranch?
None whatsoever, sir. He was a dud, a $64,000 dud.
Did you in any way interfere with him?
What do you mean interfere with? We tried every goddamn thing in the book to get that fag of a bull to act like a gentleman.
Did you do anything at all that may have affected his potency?
Yeah, well, of course, I said we did. I mean, we did everything we could find to try to get him working.
Yeah, but could have any of these methods have damaged him in any way?
Why should I damage a valuable property, senor?
Yes, indeed. Senor da Costa, why should you? Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Senor da Costa,
Yes, sir.
you're not just a rancher, are you?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
I should have thought the question was quite simple. Shall I put it another way? Is ranching your only business interest?
Oh, no.
You have other interests.
Sure.
What?
Well, banking, steel, transport.
All in the Argentine?
Oh, no, in the Argentine and Uruguay and Brazil, I spread my interests.
It would be true to say, would it not, Senor da Costa, that ranching represents only a very minor interest compared to your financial stakes in other areas?
Well, I've got over $4 million tied up in ranching. If that is a minor stake, what's a big one?
Well, you are 7 or 8 millions you've invested in your steel mill. Your interest in banking, in transport.
Well, is it a crime all of a sudden to invest in industry?
But the point is, you are no simple Argentinian rancher, but a businessman on an international scale.
So I'm successful. Is that bad?
What I'm getting at is that ranching represents only a fraction of your financial interests.
Well, if you're taking the gross figure...
You see, Senor da Costa, being a successful businessman does not automatically make you an expert on cattle.
Oh, well, no, that's where you're wrong, sir, because if there is one thing I know about, it is cattle. I was born on a ranch, and all the interests that came later, they came because I made such a success of ranching.
I see.
Yeah.
So if you know about cattle, you'll know what cryptorchidism is.
How's that?
Cryptorchidism. Or how about paraphermosis?
My lord, I fail to see the relevance of my learned friend's line of questioning. What can he possibly signify whether my client is familiar with cryptorchidism or not?
Nonetheless, Mr. Dealey, Senor da Costa will answer the question.
What is cryptorchidism, Senor da Costa?
Oh, well, I am...
Well,
I don't know.
you're quite sure?
Sure, I'm sure.
Well, paraphermosis. What about paraphermosis?
Who knows?
Well, I trust you do, Mr. Parsons.
Yes, my lord. And cryptorchidism.
Well, we're waiting.
Well, cryptorchidism, my lord, is a condition in which either one or both testicles are retained in the body and have not descended into the scrotum. The resultant body heat usually destroys the viability of the sperm.
Yes, I take your point.
Paraphermosis, on the other hand, is a disease of the penis and prepuce.
Spare us the details.
Your lordship pleases. Now then...
All right. So I don't know what this cryptorchidism is under that name. Muy bien. Le hubiera pasado en uno de mis toros llamado al veterinario.
Gracias, Senor da Costa. Comprendo completamente. But I would remind you, you did elect to give your evidence in English.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. It's just that I said that I would have the experience to recognize this thing in one of my bulls and call a vet.
Yes, well, in the case of Minos Merrick Mackenzie, did you call a vet?
Yeah.
And this was in the Argentine, was it not? When, in your opinion, the bull was impotent.
Yeah.
Now, will this vet be giving evidence during this trial?
My lord, I shall be presenting in due course an affidavit from Dr. Juan Gutzman, the vet that my learned friend refers to.
Well, one can't cross-examine an affidavit. Now, Senator Costa, I'd like to return to this verbal agreement you allege existed between yourself and Colonel McKeever.
Oh, it existed, all right, sir.
Well, when did you and Colonel McKeever arrive at this alleged agreement?
About 5 days before the show.
The show at which Minas Merrick won first prize.
Right.
Now, where were you when you concluded these alleged negotiations?
Where we were at the Colonel's estate.
Yes, and you did say, I believe, there was no witness to the conversation.
That's right, sir.
Now, how many times had you seen the bull before making this alleged offer?
Well, only just the once, but I'd only seen it for a couple of minutes when I said that I would like to purchase the bull. I asked him what he thought it would bring at a sale, and he said maybe 25,000, which I thought was pretty optimistic.
How so, Senor da Costa?
Excuse me, sir?
Why should you think the 25,000 guineas for Minas Merrick was an optimistic figure?
Well, because of the state of the market.
But surely if a bull were to win the show, he would be more valuable.
Yeah, but he was not a show winner at that time. And anyway, the value fluctuates with the market, you see. Even a pedigree bull is not fetching the price at the moment that it was doing.
Why is that?
Oh, AI has a lot to do with it.
AI.
Artificial insemination.
That is, my lord, where a farmer buys living frozen sperm from a particular bull and uses
Thank
it
you,
to
Mr. Parsons. I think I understand the principle of procreation.
Yes, my lord. Now, Senator Costa, who first proposed the rigging of this auction so that Minas Merrick Mackenzie would become the most valuable bull in the world?
Me.
It was your idea.
Yeah, but he didn't exactly faint when I put it to him.
So why should he accept your proposition?
Because he was getting 17,000 guineas for the bull.
Yes, but you just said he hoped to get 25,000 at the auction.
Hoping is one thing, senor. Cash in the hand is quite another.
Yes. Would you consider yourself a good businessman?
Well, I think I must be. I'm worth a lot of money.
Yes. Tough, shrewd.
Oh, sure.
And you're seriously asking the jury to believe that a tough, shrewd international businessman would trust someone to return £45,000 purely in a verbal agreement?
Well, not everyone is a crook, senor.
Nor are all tough, shrewd international businessmen usually so naive. But what I don't really quite understand is why you should want this bull at all.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, you mentioned just now artificial insemination. Now, it's true, is it not, that AI is used in the Argentine a great deal to improve the herd?
Sure,
You yourself use it on your own ranch.
Sometimes,
So
yeah.
why spend 65,000 guineas when you could spend a fraction of that money by buying files of semen from several bulls?
Because if you want a famous herd, if you want the most famous herd, then you need a famous bull on your ranch in person.
So it would be true to say then, Senator Costa, that for you, Minas Merrick Mackenzie was no more than a glorified status symbol.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that, sir. I mean, all the files of semen in the world aren't the same as having a strong, a real bull on your ranch.
Yet it is true that show bulls, by the very nature of the competition, are artificially bred, are no more, in fact, than glorified biological freaks.
Oh, well, that's putting it a bit strong, sir.
Well, but I mean, they're specially fed, specially bred, aren't they?
Yeah.
And the resulting animal is bred for its looks rather than its performance, is it not?
No, but look, sir, a bull is a bull, and even a pedigree bull only keeps from being a hamburger by being capable of producing progeny. And this bull of his could not do that, and he knew that when he sold it to me.
But the animal was sold, was it not, subject to a bull fertility guarantee?
Well, yeah, but...
One moment, Mr. Parsons. What is a fertility guarantee?
My lord, it is a guarantee published by the Breed Society and is given by the vendor when selling under the Society's auction sale rules. It usually provides the basis for insurance, and it contains certain clauses and conditions which guarantees the fertility of the animal.
I think, my lord, you'll find a sample bull fertility guarantee among the plaintiff's bundle of documents, page 17.
Ah, yes, thank you, Mr. Dealey. Yes, I have it. Proceed, Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, my lord. Now, the bull was under 20 calendar months and was proved in your submission incapable of getting stock within 6 calendar months.
Right.
Yes. Now, have you claimed against these terms in the guarantee?
Not yet.
What are you going to?
Oh, I haven't decided yet.
No. Now, you understand the second clause under conditions, 3, paragraph B, that incapacity due to injury from whatever cause or to illness suffered or contracted after the date of sale is not covered by the guarantee.
Oh, but that bull was looked after on my ranch like it was royalty.
See, I suggest to you, Senor da Costa, that if Minas Merrick Mackenzie is infertile, it is due to an illness contracted after the sale or to an injury suffered whilst in your ranch.
Oh, you're crazy.
I shall further be bringing evidence which suggests that when the bull arrived in your ranch, it was fertile and, in fact, got 3 of your cows in calf.
But I wish that it had. Then maybe we could have done something for him.
See, I put it to you, Senor da Costa, that you bought this animal to satisfy your vanity. You wanted to own the most valuable bull in the world, and you rigged the auction so that there would be no doubt that the price would be absurdly inflated.
Sir, I have never denied rigging the auction.
I further put it to you, Senor da Costa, when this bull became infertile on your ranch, that your vanity and pride could not allow you to accept this fact, and that is why you have brought this action, to try and salvage your reputation as a breeder and as a businessman.
Can you tell me, please, how fighting an action in an English court will help my reputation in the Argentine?
Well, it will prove, in your own words, that no one screws Angelus da Costa, not even when it's his own fault.
Oh, you're nuts.
No further questions, my lord.
Senor da Costa,
Yes, sir.
was this bull fertile when you got it back to your ranch?
No, sir.
It was tried, was it
It was
not?
tried. We did everything we could think of.
Was it injured in any way on your ranch? Did it fall ill in any way?
Oh, look, sir, you pay 65,000 guineas for a bull, and you treat it like it was glass. And you look after its health like, well, not even royalty gets that kind of treatment, you know.
Now, this agreement you had with Colonel McKeever, you didn't pay him the 17,000 guineas before the auction, did
No,
you?
sir.
Why not?
No, the idea was that he was to take the 17,000 out of the sale price and return the rest to me.
Which, of course, he didn't do.
No, sir, he never did.
Now, my learned friend has called these pedigree show bulls biological freaks. Would you agree with that description?
Well, yeah, in a way that any animal that you breed from is a biological freak.
Why?
Well, you're controlling the bloodlines. And it happens with every breeder, whether they're breeding dogs or canaries or bulls. They even do it with plants.
My learned friend has also suggested that your purpose in bringing this action was pique, injured vanity. Do you agree with that?
No, sir, not vanity. No, it was the principle of the thing. I mean, he tried to take me, and I can't allow that. I mean, you start letting people getting away with things, and it's just not good for business, you know.
Thank you, Senor da Costa.
Very well, you may stand down.
Thank you, sir.
What is your occupation, Mr. Enderby?
I'm a livestock dealer, sir, and I also act as agent for breeders and farmers wanting to buy stock, sir.
And how long have you known Senor da Costa?
Oh, about 12 years, sir.
Now, at the Fulchester Bull Sales in February 1972, did Senor da Costa instruct you to bid against him in the sale of the show winner, Minas Merrick Mackenzie of Dalriada?
That's right, sir, yep.
Now, when did Senor da Costa approach you?
Day before the show, sir.
And where did the conversation take place?
In the pub, sir. The salutation at Fulchester, sir.
Was anyone else present at the time?
Oh, yes, sir.
Who?
Well, the owner of the bull, Colonel McKeever.
The man is a damned liar.
The case of da Costa against McKeever will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court.